Hello world, today we're going to talk about conditions of magic cards and what to look for. In front of me I have 12 magic cards in various conditions. We have conditions all the way from poor to near mint, so the whole scale, even some damaged. I'm going to use the conditions from cardmarket for this video, since that is one I know the best, and that is because I live in Europe and that's what we use over here. So we're just going to go through these. I made this video because conditions can be discussed endlessly and there are varying opinions. I find it hard to find any good resources on what a specific condition mean. And that is resources where you see the cards in all the different angles and in the correct light for you to see the flaws it has. And therefore I decided to make my own video to show what I look for. I will also tell, I will show some cards and I will tell what condition I believe the cards are in. Conditions, they can be somewhat subjective and there are many different scales. Even for companies that create cards, they differ, but they should be close. And remember to give me feedback and let me know what you think down in the comments. If you disagree, let me know. I hope to make more of these to make it more precise over time. I have some videos out there for people to know what to look for when they need to sell their cards to get some more correct conditions. And I will just go through them one by one. And we'll start with this one over here, this illusionary wall, which I played with as a kid. And you can see the borders are quite terrible. You see, it's almost all white. You can see the card is somewhat of a Pringles, but not really. There's some structural damage down here as well. I think that's really hard to get on the camera. But it's, if I could just get focused on it, that would be really nice. Yeah, you can see it at the bottom. That is like it has a little bit of a ding down here. It has a ton of scratches. If you look at it in the light, it has a lot of dirt on it as well. This is a card in really bad condition, and therefore this is a played card. I think it might be heavily played in the US. It has been played with a lot. The next card I'm going to look at is this Unsummon down here, and it's a little bit harder to tell since it has white borders. This is an unlimited Unsummon, and if we just look at the front, it looks quite nice. Just when you look at it the first time, but then you start to look at the side here with, this looks like it was smacked against something hard. It looks like that was done in two different places. So it's, that has some real damages. And also it's the same on the other side. It also has some, it's more like a nick over here, but on the back you can see it's quite wide over here. And also this corner up here is really terrible. See if I can get that in the camera. Yeah. So if I just had something dark to put up against it or just something else, you would see it much more easily. That corner is pretty bad. And if you look at the back, there's a lot of scratches. If I can just get it into the right light. Usually I do this during the day where I have natural light. Today I only have a lamp to help me out. I guess I could turn this on, see if that's any better. And you can see there's some dents out here. So I would consider this a a light play card, since it has so much widening. It has the dents on the side. It also has some structural damage where there's something with the sides that seems like it has binding down here and the binding over here. It's not that easy to see, but there is something. Usually a light play card would have a little bit more wear. This corner is really bad. But since it also has those dings and has some scratches, I would consider it light play. Another card is this Wall of Water from Revised. And this one doesn't have any really bad corners. It doesn't have like the corner is flawed. It doesn't have one big thing, but it has a lot of smaller things. It has a lot of scratches, really big ones. It has a lot of widening on the edges. It has some smudges out here. It has some sort of ding up here. It has, there's a lot of surface damage down here as well. Also the side, look at that. It's the condition of this card is not that great. I would also consider this to be a light play card. But these are for different reasons. This one has a bit of structural damage to it, and it has some big flaws. This one has a lot of smaller ones. That's why it's hard to talk about conditions of cards, because sometimes it will be a big thing that nails the card, and sometimes it's a lot of small ones. Then let's move on to the Sorcerer's Queen, and these cards I've played with as a kid. So they are lightly loved or heavily loved. This one looks a little bit better than the Wall of Water. It doesn't have any big flaws in it. It has a little bit more of darkening here and some smudge. But since there's nothing more wrong with it on the edges, I would consider this a good card. Now it is bordering light play due to this side over here, and I would probably sell it for a cheap price. But that's what I believe it is. Now this card I brought in, I also had this in one of my other videos. So it has some structural damage up here. It's quite nice on the edges, and there's a reason for that. The reason is that it's inked. I basically touched this up just to see how it's done. It was almost all white all around, so I think I did a pretty good job on that. But given that it's now inked, it's a damaged card. Cannot be graded. Shouldn't be sold. I mean, it can be sold, but you need to mark it as inked. So this is a poor card. It's a damaged card. And the same goes for this core I lie down here. This one should be obvious. And, damaged cards, they have holes in them. They have big bends like this. They can have small bends like this. They can have a piece missing off the card. A lot of. It's noticeable, and it's very hard to hide that. The flaws are very hard to hide on this one. So there's also some wear out here. I made that myself. So this is if you're in doubt, this is a damaged card all day long. Let's take a look at the Hell's Caretaker from down here. Oops, and this one also has the white border. I know a lot of cards these days do not have the white border. And the white border is different. So you see the back here, it does have a few scratches, very light scratches. It does have some wear or smudges over here. It does have some whitening on the borders up here and on the top. The other sides are pretty nice. The front is very, very nice. But still, it is too much to call it excellent, in my opinion. I mean, it's close. So I don't think you have excellent in the US, but excellent right between good and near mint. So with near mint you can have a little bit of whitening. With excellent you can basically have a little bit more whitening and a few scratches. But since this also has the smudge on the side here, I say this is a really good looking card. I don't know if we can call it good plus. It's not the worst good card you can get, but I'm having a hard time calling it excellent either. There's just too much going on this card. But from the front of it, very nice. There's a little scratch here. You can also see that. Yeah, that's too bad. That's how it is. Then we have an Ursus Tower here. And if you just looked at it, I don't know if you already noticed it, it's a really, really nice card. So what's wrong here? Yeah, up here at the top, if I can get that focused, it has some scratches. I don't know. Yeah, you could just, yeah, there you see it. It has two quite big scratches. And sadly on the back, on the top, it also has quite a big dent. And it's not that easy to see on the camera, but that makes it marked. So you cannot play it without sleeves. There's also a scratch down here. And for grading, I don't know what this would do to the grade, because it is quite nice. The borders, the centering is quite good as well. It's a little bit off to the left. But since it's marked in the back, I would sell it as a good card. Now if it didn't have that, we could probably go for excellent, but I would definitely write about the scratches on the front, because they are not small scratches. And you can feel them. So there's another one there. Okay, yeah. So I don't know if I can get, right there inside the tower, there's another scratch right there. Other than that, it's a very nice card, but I wouldn't be able to sell this as more as a good card. It just has too many flaws. It's it is what it is. Let's move on to the Ursus Mine here. So now what's wrong with this? It's off center, but not enough to degrade a lot. There's whitening over here. There's a little bit of whitening over here. And maybe you don't notice it with first sight. But there is some whitening over there. Then here on the back, it has some whitening over here as well. And then it has a printer hickeys. Since it has that, it's a marked card. You can easily tell which card this is if you play it unsleeved. But I think if you put in the comment, yes, it has a printer hickeys, I think you could list this as excellent. Because it's a very, very beautiful card. It has this issue out here. If you only had that, it would definitely be excellent and close to near mint. Printer hickeys, you can get cards graded with those. depending on the size and so on. So I would list this as an excellent card, and then we'll put a note that says, well, it has this printer higgy. Other than that, if you wouldn't go with that, I would go with a good conditioning on it. And let's move on to the Banshee. So what is the condition of this card? It has nice edges. There's really nothing on the surface. There's almost no whitening on the edges. It's a little bit on the top, but you really have to look for it. And on the back, yeah, there's nothing. And it is a little bit off center, but yeah. This is a Neiman card. This is a beautiful Banshee from the dark. You might think, 1994 and no set symbol. This is a summer Magic or Edgar card. But it's just that the dark is so hard to see on black cards. So yeah, the set symbol is the dark. And that's the first Neiman card in this pile of cards. Then I have something where we might disagree. So this is a Samite Healer, and it has a bit of whitening over here. There's a very little bit of whitening down here. Surface is good. Surface is good. Now you might look at the corner and say, well, all the corners are white. Yeah, they're a bit white, but the reason for that is that this is an alpha card. This alpha cards have these sort of corners. They have the alpha flip corners. So I would actually say this is a Neiman card. Maybe a Neiman minus, but I cannot see that there is enough wrong with it to grade it into an excellent. And yeah, leave me a comment down below if you think otherwise. Give me your reasons why. I think it's good if we talk a little bit more about conditions of cards and yeah, have a debate about it. And again, it's a bit subjective. Now all of these cards were sort of old except for this beaten up core ally. The last card I have brought with me is Hit the Motherload, and whoops, now it's heavily played. Is Hit the Motherload from one of the excellents. Can't tell them apart. And this is also a Neiman card. This is a pack fresh card, and you can also see the holo stamp down here. That's actually one of the things to check, that there's no scratches in that when you receive a holo stamp card, because that thing is easily to scratch. See this? Maybe is that a hair? Yeah, that was a hair. Okay. I thought it was a scratch. So this is also a Neiman card. And this brings us up to today. And these are all the cards I wanted for us to go through. So thank you all for watching. This is a new channel where I talk about Magic the Gathering. I have currently 0 subscribers. If you like this kind of content, let me know by subscribing and leave a comment. And I hope to see you around in the next video I make. See you there.